Hi, and welcome to Quickie NBA Today Quick Shots. My name is Ken Thompson, and I'm your host for this Monday through Friday show. If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is episode number 4 on this Friday, December the 9th. What we're going to do today on today's show is we're going to take a look at what happened last night on the hardwood. We're going to preview tonight's action as well, and then we're also going to take a look at the hot topics, things that are going on around the NBA. We're going to also take a look at things from a betting angle as we bring in our resident pro, Johnny Robb. Johnny outstanding, not only from a point spread perspective, but also he takes a look at things from the money lines. Then we'll take a look at fantasy basketball as far as the NBA, and we'll take a look at the big divorce in Oklahoma City. That's right, with KD moving on to the Bay Area to play with Curry and Thompson, and meanwhile Russell Westbrook just continues to go about his business, stays in OKC, and he's looking for a 7th straight triple-double that'll match Michael Jordan's mark back in 1989. We look forward to taking you through this unique way that we present the NBA to you, and we'll do that over the next 30 minutes with short, sharp video-to-video questions and answers to our Quick Shots team by our Quick Shots team. Then you, the viewer, you have a chance to get involved as you'll let us know whether you agree or disagree. We come at you in 156 countries. Welcome again to Quickie's NBA Today Quick Shots.
This is Jonathan with kwickieTV. If you saw the Cavs-Knicks game the other night, then you saw King James attempt the water bottle challenge. Our challenge to you is to reply to this with your own attempt and then post a new quickie challenging your friends. Good luck.
Well, guys, I'm all about the king and his rings. But listen, I've got skills to pay the bills. And when he comes to my town, he better bow down. So let's try this water challenge here in this gymnasium. I'm going to flip the camera so that we can get a good angle. And I'm going to try and get this bad boy up there. Now, again, I know where I'm trying to get to. I want to get up to the rim and see not just a made basket, but let me see if I can get it up there. So let me see. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now, the best thing to do is to see up here, look where it got. LeBron James, you ain't got nothing on me. Denzel Washington, King Kong ain't got nothing on the coach. Peace out. Let's see what you all got.
This is Jonathan with kwickieTV. If you saw the Cavs-Knicks game the other night, then you saw King James attempt the water bottle challenge. Our challenge to you is to reply to this with your own attempt and then post a new quickie challenging your friends. Good luck.
Thanks. Here we go. As Kyrie Irving would say, legend.
This is Jonathan with kwickieTV. If you saw the Cavs-Knicks game the other night, then you saw King James attempt the water bottle challenge. Our challenge to you is to reply to this with your own attempt and then post a new quickie challenging your friends. Good luck.
Well, thank you. And here goes nothing.
This is Jonathan with kwickieTV. If you saw the Cavs-Knicks game the other night, then you saw King James attempt the water bottle challenge. Our challenge to you is to reply to this with your own attempt and then post a new quickie challenging your friends. Good luck.
All right, here we go. Here we go, King. Try it again. Oh, we almost at it. All right, let's open it up. All right, here. It's the last one.
When I try, when I do it slowly,
We failed.
ah,
We gotta do it on the table. Here it goes. All right, last one.
Okay, guys.
All right, I'm going to take this water challenge and see if I can flip it and get this bottle upright. You ready, teammates? Here we go. Let me flip it. I'm going to see if you guys have skills to pay the bills. Ready? Going up. Booyah! That's what I'm talking about.
You gotta be kidding me, Dave. You too? Water bottle challenge? This? Is basketball that boring now to where everybody's talking about water bottles and flipping it on his butt? There's no way I'm doing that, Dave. I'm too old school for that. So you enjoy your water bottle.
Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Ken Thompson and welcome to Quick Shots. Take a look at last night's action on the hardwood, 6 games in all. Our experts are going to delve into these games, give you some details. In the winners column last night, Toronto, Washington taking care of business with a big fourth quarter. Marc Gasol did not know if he was going to play for Memphis. Not only did he play, he excelled, and they got a 2-point home win. Philadelphia, first road win of the season for the Sixers. Golden State, they win their 4th straight game. They get a win at Utah against the banged-up Spurs. And the Chicago Bulls, they bust out and stop the San Antonio Spurs winning streak on the road at 13. Let's find out now what our panel has to say about last night's action in the NBA. Coach Dave Miller, some interesting games, only 6 to choose from, but some dynamite action last night. What was your favorite game on the hardwood last night, Coach?
Well, Ken, the action I wanted was to see history being made. So that led me to the San Antonio Spurs at the Chicago Bulls. San Antonio entered the game with 13 straight road wins, 1 game shy of tying the best road record start ever in the NBA, held by the Golden State Warriors. The problem is the Spurs did not show up to play in the Windy City. It was the second game in a row that they had a season-low first quarter point total. Very uncharacteristic of a Spurs team. You see, the MO with Popovich is always to hit first in the first quarter. Then they're the best at coming out in the third and imposing their will in that first 3 minutes. They like to put their foot on your throat and never let you breathe. Greg Popovich was heated. Hoiberg's seat became a little cooler for one night in the Windy City.
All right, my good brothers, Chuck and Tracy, hard-fought win for the Memphis Grizzlies at home in Nashville, 88-86, as they edged the Portland Trailblazers. Guys, who was the difference in this one?
Well, of course, the difference was Marc Gasol. He caught fire in the fourth quarter. He had 36 points and 9 rebounds. He was 13 for 24 from the floor, and he was 4 of 6 from 3. But Tony Douglas scored the last 6 points of the game, including the game-winning free throws, and so he was a major factor down the stretch.
Coach Miller, looked like Toronto was in a lot of trouble north of the border last night. Struggled with Minnesota for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, they played dynamic ball. Down the stretch, they were even better. Who was key for Toronto as the Raptors got that home win, 124-110 against the T-Wolves?
Well, Ken, it's always the case in Toronto. It's going to start and finish with that all-star backcourt with DeRozan and Lowry. DeRozan dropped 27. Kyle Lowry added 25 points. But I thought it was key with Lowry dropping 11 dimes. I thought he really impacted the game. And he shot 5 for 7 from the three-point line. The key with Toronto, though, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from that front line. But I thought Jonas Valanciunas was huge. He leads the Raptors in double-doubles, and he was able to drop 20 and 10. It's not about the guards. You know what you're going to get. But it's about the bigs in that front line. Can they become consistent? Can they find a niche? Can they do their job? That'll bode well for Toronto.
All right, Tracy, according to the odds makers, Bulls were an underdog last night at home at the United Center. Came up big, though, and broke that 13-game road winning streak by the San Antonio Spurs. What about it, Trace? Was it an upset in your mind?
No, it's not an upset, man. I mean, Chicago's a good team. They have pride. They have a bunch of veterans on the team. You know, they're supposed to win at home. So the Spurs finally lost on the road. That's what it was. It was their first loss all year. And you got to credit Dwayne Wade, who had 20 points. And you had Rajon Rondo went out there and had a monster game, almost a triple-double. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. So you have veterans with pride that want to go out and win that basketball game.
Lots of news and headlines, and tonight we're going to delve into certain players like Draymond Green. Also look at Chicago Bulls' Doug McDermott making it back to the Windy City. Isaiah Thomas, of course, for Boston, having a great season, but he's been banged up. Donatas Montejunas, his standoff there with the Houston Rockets. What about Jason Kidd's Young Bucks and Greg Popovich's old men over there with the Spurs? Still some young guys, but mostly an older roster. And we're going to dive deeper into Oklahoma City and take a look at Russell Westbrook again, closing in on Michael Jordan's 7 straight triple-doubles. Jay and Shannon, talk to me. Golden State, they've got that mastery now over the LA Clippers as they made it 7 in a row the other night. Draymond Green really stepping up. How do you see Draymond Green's maturation over the last couple of seasons? Is he starting to grow up, or does he still need a little bit of work?
I'm going to have to agree with Jay on this one. He's definitely growing, and from his rookie season till now, he has improved tremendously. He's definitely a key player with the Warriors, and he's trying to get that Defensive Player of the Year award. He's building a strong case to be a contender for that. But not only is he being really aggressive, he's turning the ball over less. He's getting the team involved, averaging 7.5 assists per game to add to his 11 points and 9 rebound average as well. So he's playing great, definitely growing as a player. Now all we need him to do is get rid of that very, very awkward kicking problem.
Jay and Shana, talk to me. Golden State, they got that mastery now over the LA Clippers as they made it 7 in a row the other night. Draymond Green really stepping up. How do you see Draymond Green's maturation over the last couple of seasons? Is he starting to grow up, or does he still need a little bit of work?
Well, Ken, Draymond Green certainly was big defensively the other night, and he continues to be big defensively this year. That really is his identity, as it has been, as a 35th overall pick in the 2012 draft, kind of wearing that chip on his shoulder still. Pretty slow start his rookie year, averaging only 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 0.7 assists. He has really come a long way now in his 5th season, averaging 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's also their defensive center point at that end of the floor. But if we're talking about his maturation, he still has a long way to go in that category, as we saw last year in the playoffs, and as he continues to rack up flagrant fouls this season.
Hey guys, we seem to talk immensely about NBA injuries on a daily basis, but let's look at another avenue. Let's talk about player welfare. Doug McDermott missed 11 straight games for the Chicago Bulls due to a concussion. What do you guys think?
Well, first, Coach, I love the Christmas tree behind you, and I think those are great decorations. But in terms of player welfare is concerned, the Chicago Bulls organization handled this perfectly. McDermott suffered 2 concussions already. I have no problem with them sitting him out an extended amount of time to ensure that player safety is the first thing we're concerned about. As a diehard Bulls fan myself, obviously I know we need him. He's one of the bench mafia that we need out there shooting those triples. But player safety is what this league should be about. The NFL is struggling with player safety issues, and I have no problem trying to protect the guys because at the end of the day, they invest a lot of money into these players.
Hey guys, we seem to talk immensely about NBA injuries on a daily basis, but let's look at another avenue. Let's talk about player welfare. Doug McDermott missed 11 straight games for the Chicago Bulls due to a concussion. What do you guys think?
Well, Coach, I'm not mad at the precautionary measures that the Bulls staff took to make sure that McDermott was at his full potential prior to coming back on the NBA floor. I know before Thursday's game against the Spurs, which they won, he was playing in the D-League. And prior to that, they were just taking their precautionary measures. They were just making sure that an untreated concussion didn't go and lead into something greater as physical abilities being affected, mental health. So we have to applaud that. I think player welfare is something that needs to be highly considered and on the top of everybody's agenda when managing a ball club.
Donatas Motiejunas and the Rockets have finally reached an agreement worth $35 million over 4 years after the Rockets matched the Nets offer sheet. And Chuck, I know earlier this week you said you weren't really a fan of this, but now that it's finalized, is this good for Rocket fans?
Well, Shana, it remains to be seen if this is good for Rocket fans. We haven't seen Motiejunas on the court this year as he's been negotiating this contract, and he's also been out with the back injury. As I stated the other day, he's had 2 major back surgeries at only 26 years old. That is alarming to me. His career averages of only 7 and 4 also prove to me that they don't necessarily need him to win, as the Rockets are sitting right now 4th in the Western Conference with a 15 and 7 overall record. However, in terms of the deal is concerned, it's a win-win. It's a partially guaranteed long-term deal. This year, they fully will pay him $8.3 million, but they also have the option to trade him next year under this current deal. So it remains to be seen if this is a good deal.
Coach Miller, earlier this week you had rated Greg Popovich the #1 coach. So tell us, what does Coach Pop have to do with his Spurs to challenge the Warriors in the Wild West this season?
I think the main thing, he has to keep everybody healthy. If everybody's healthy, then they're going to be ready to go and match up with everybody in each position, because guard play is crucial, and you got to have Tony Parker healthy in order to match up with Golden State. You have to be able to guard the three-point line and guard penetration, which opens up the three-point shots. So another thing is if you're from the offensive point of view, you have to work inside out against them. Punish those little guys on the block. Another thing, light a fire under LaMarcus Aldridge, because the Spurs have to get him playing at a high level consistently if they're going to beat the Warriors.
I'd like to delve into the Oklahoma City Thunder for a second. We all know what they did in the conference finals last year. And now I think they're playing a little bit better, but let me know what you are thinking, Tracy, because they're 14-8, sitting 6th in the West. So how are you rating their season thus far?
Well, Shayna, as of late, they've been playing extremely well. They're 6-0 in the last 6 games, got a good 6-game road streak going on. But if you look at their season so far, they're 14-8. You got to look at their 5-4 on the road. And the bad losses that they had that they should have won was Orlando at home, the Pacers at home, Detroit on the road, Lakers on the road, and Sacramento on the road. If you look at the Thunder winning those games, they should be 19-3. So it's going to take staying healthy, a lot of mental focus, and continuing to work hard and coming together. There's no more Durant, so they got to go to work.
All right, let's take a look at what's going on the hardwood tonight. Some good, solid games. Good one up in the Northeast in Beantown with Boston hosting Toronto at TD Arena. They'll be minus star Isaiah Thomas. Meanwhile, Toronto off the back-to-back. They get the 124-110 victory over Minnesota. Can they make it 2 in a row? Meanwhile, in Houston at H-Town, yes, it is the Rockets at home with James Harden and company hosting Russell Westbrook and those Oklahoma City Thunder. It's going to be dynamic because the crowd is going to be at a fever pitch. Can OKC's Russell Westbrook make it 7 in a row as far as triple doubles and tie Michael Jordan's record set back in 1989? I think he can do it. Let's find out what our expert panel has to think right here on Quickie Quick Shots.
Our first game, the Orlando Magic taking on the Charlotte Hornets at the Spectrum Center. Johnny, who wins this one and why?
Well, Chuck, if you take a look at the two records, they're almost identical. But if you look at the opponents they've had and the wins they've had, they're a bit different. I've got to give this one to the Magic. Had a huge win over the Spurs a couple weeks back. Have been playing really well as of late. A very consistent type of play versus Charlotte, who either wins by a lot or loses by a lot. So it's really dependent upon how they're shooting. Whereas the Magic is just a bit more consistent in their scoring ability and doesn't have these big swings in point deficits. So I've got to give this one to the Magic. I'm confident in them. I know the spread is heavily against them. And Charlotte could come out and just have a great shooting night and completely crush them. But as far as the Magic, they're more consistent, so I've got to give it to them.
And what about our game of the night? Toronto travels to Boston to take on the Celtics. Thirds, who wins this one and why?
Well, Chuck, this is definitely the game of the night. These are the two top teams in the Atlantic Division. You have the Celtics, who won 3 of their last 4 games. But tonight, they're playing without Isaiah Thomas. And you have a red-hot Toronto Raptor team with DeMar DeRozan averaging 28 points a game. Last night, they rolled over the Timberwolves, shooting 12 of 27 from 3. And Kyle Lowry had 25 points, 11 assists. I think tonight you're going to have to see the Celtics really step up in Isaiah Thomas' absence, and you're going to have a big game from Avery Bradley and Al Horford and Jay Crowder. So I'm going to give the edge to the Toronto Raptors. Banking on them to pull out the win for tonight. Valanciunas is going to be big on the boards and hopefully score 20 points like he did last night.
Okay, I like the look of this game. Houston Rockets travel to Oklahoma City to take on Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. Panel, talk to me. Can Westbrook keep up his streak of dominance? And how can the Thunder win this basketball game? Let me know.
Well, Chuck, this is going to be the second matchup of the season for these two teams, with Oklahoma City squeaking out a 105-103 victory in their last contest. James Harden was pretty poor in that one, going just 4 of 16 from the floor. But Houston has been hot since that loss, winners of 9 of their last 11 overall. Speaking of hot, though, is the Oklahoma City Thunder. winners of 6 consecutive games, and Russell Westbrook is looking for his 7th consecutive triple-double. He's making it look easy this year, averaging 31, 11, and 11. I look for him to continue to push that streak and fuel the Thunder at home tonight. They get the win, and he gets his 7th triple-double.
All right, Jay and Shannon, another question for you. I like this Phoenix Suns team because they play with some heart. They're going to be at the Staples Center to take on the LA Lakers, and a quartet of Lakers are out. Calderon, Black, Russell, and Young. What about the Lakers? Are they too banged up, or will Luke Walton's guys get up and take care of business, or does Phoenix get the upset?
The Lakers definitely have an opportunity to win tonight, even though Luke Walton's guys definitely are banged up, and they've been struggling without Nick Young and D'Angelo Russell. But the Suns are a team that they definitely have the ability to beat with the remaining people that they have. They're going to need big, strong minutes out of Timothy Mozgov and Julius Randle in the front court. They're going to need Jordan Clarkson to take over in this game, as he's shown that he's able to do. And they're going to need Lou Williams to be hot from the perimeter. They're going to need Brandon Ingram to step up. And I know I might be saying a lot about what they need to be doing, which they haven't really shown as of lately, but against the Phoenix Suns, I believe they're going to be able to do it and pull off this win at the Staples Center.
All right, Jay and Shannon, another question for you. I like this Phoenix Suns team because they play with some heart. They're going to be at the Staples Center to take on the LA Lakers, and a quartet of Lakers are out. Calderon, Black, Russell, and Young. What about the Lakers? Are they too banged up, or will Luke Walton's guys get up and take care of business, or does Phoenix get the upset?
Well, Ken, the Lakers do come in slumping, losers of 4 consecutive games. And their last time out was a humiliating defeat, a 134-95 beating at the hands of the Houston Rockets. Speaking of cold, though, are the Phoenix Suns. They come in riding a 3-game losing streak of their own and have lost 5 of 6 overall. The game is in LA, but as you said, the Lakers are missing 4 key players, 2 starters and 2 key reserves. As a result, coach Luke Walton is going to have to start his 8th different lineup in 11 games. Therefore, I do look for the Phoenix Suns to get the upset tonight.
Lots of controversy on who's having a better season and who's going to make out better by the end of the season. And we're talking about, of course, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, that divorce from Oklahoma City with Durant bailing to the Bay Area, and of course, staying put, Russell Westbrook. Westbrook tonight, of course, looking for a 7th straight triple-double. KD, he's just happy winning games. He doesn't have to be the key cog because Curry and Thompson, of course, are there for Golden State. So it'll be interesting to see how things pan out. Of course, Westbrook right now, #1 in fantasy numbers. And we will have our experts take a look at Kevin Durant versus Russell Westbrook.
How important is your bench? Let's take a look at a guy like Patty Mills, averaging 11.3 points per game off the bench this year. He had 16 big points off the bench last night. Is he a good pickup if you're looking to rotate your bench?
Jay, Patty Mills is a great pickup if you're looking to rotate your bench in terms of fantasy is concerned. This is a guy who, although he is a bench player, there's going to be nights where he'll play 24, 25, even 30 minutes a game. In the last 7 games, Patty Mills has only had 2 games where he didn't reach at least 10 points in that basketball game. This is a guy that this year is shooting 48.7% from the field, which is a career best for him. He's also averaging a career best 11.3 points per game, as you stated. I would love to play Patty Mills if I'm playing fantasy off the bench, because not many fantasy guys are going to get the minutes and play near 30 minutes a ball game. And he's a guy that really fits into the Spurs offense, and they look to get him touches on the perimeter. Play Patty Mills.
It's that time of the show. We take a look at things from a gaming angle right now. We bring in our resident pro, Johnny Robb, for this. He's our expert. Not only is he going to look at things from the point spread perspective, but also he'll take a look and see if there's any advantage at any of the teams tonight on the hardwood from that money line. All right, now we get to the fun stuff with my good pal, Johnny Robb. Time to make some money. Johnny, what about the Lakers at home, banged up? Phoenix comes a calling at the Staples Center. Who does Johnny Robb have on his radar?
Well, Ken, huge Laker fan, but, since this is about making money, I've got to go with the Suns. The injuries are just way too deep right now on the Lakers side, really hurting their scoring ability with having D'Angelo Russell and Nick Young out. Suns are actually looking decent to me. They're still trying to find their groove, but they're able to score the basketball, especially with the healthy squad between Booker and Bledsoe. I think that they're easily going to be able to cover their spread tonight at +2. Lakers are my boys, but when money's on the line, I've got to go with the Suns.
All right, Johnny, this is the one everyone's anticipating. Everybody's looking forward to. Houston at home against Oklahoma City. OKC, of course, Russell Westbrook trying to get 7 straight triple-doubles. James Harden, he's a beast on the road, but he's even better at home. Who wins this baby, Johnny?
I really don't want to pick. I mean, this is such a close, even match. But, you know, this game is going to go shot for shot, and who's going to get the stops. So when it really comes down to it and you look at that, to me it says Houston. I think this is going to be a super close game. It's why the spread's completely even. You know, Thunder's a little bit better off defensively, but when it comes to who's going to be more clutch in the scoring ability, I got to give it to Houston. It's really going to come down to defensive end on OKC. But you know, with money on the line, I got to go with the Rockets.
All right, Johnny, we talked a little about the Laker game. We talked a lot about OKC and Houston. That'll be a dynamite matchup. But there's a bunch of other games on the board. I know you have that metal detector out because you're going to find us some coin, my man. What else is on Johnny Rob's radar?
Well, every game on there is super close today. Everything's like a 50-50. But there are 2 games that stand out. My number 1 game is going to be the spread on Orlando versus Charlotte at plus 7.5. Orlando's been playing super consistent, had some big wins this season. I think that's going to be easy for them to cover. The second game is going to be the Pacers over Dallas with minus 3.5 to cover. Dallas has really been struggling this season. They've got a lot of injuries. I love the Pacers. I love Paul George. So when it comes to money, that's where I'm putting it.
All right, folks, you know they put a total out on all these games. It means you can bet that total. Either there'll be more points or less points than that total. It's called an over-under. It's one of Johnny's specialties. Johnny Rob, what do we have on this Friday night schedule? Best over-under.
Best over-under, Ken, is going to be Houston Rockets versus Thunder at 224. My bet is going to be under 224. I think OKC is going to have some big stops. There's going to be a lot of scoring, but I think we're going to stay right under that threshold.
All right, folks, another thing they do as far as wagering, you can just not lay any points one way or the other or not take any points. You can just do what's called a money line. You can either get profit, plus money, or minus money. It's one of Johnny Rob's specialties. Johnny, what do we have on this Friday night slate that looks good on the money line?
So for even money, the best bet out there I think is going to be Houston Rockets versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's even money either way. I'm going to take Houston on this one. $100 makes $100. If you got some money to put up and you want a for sure victory, you can put up $800 to win $100 on Cavs versus the Heat. I think that's a for sure thing, but you never know. And that's my money line bets for today.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you agree or disagree with any of our comments, please let us know, because now it's your time. If you have any questions for our panel or you'd like to raise certain topics with our experts, let us know. We'll be sure to review them and get them on the show tomorrow night. And most importantly, if you think you can take out LeBron James or challenge our panel in that water bottle challenge, we'd love to see what you have. Remember to follow us and also send us a quickie. I'm your host, Ken Thompson. I've enjoyed the evening. Hope you have as well. Thanks for watching Quickie NBA Today Quick Shots.